Welcome to Not a Safe Space. This is Marty. Today I'm going to talk a bit more about Ukraine and get some answers from someone who wasn't actually talking to me. As we see all the horrible news from Ukraine, it's good to remind ourselves that not everyone is suffering. The warmongers in this world are doing quite well. Raytheon is up 8%, General Dynamics up 12%, Huntington Ingalls Industries 14%. Lockheed Martin, they're really doing good, up 18%. And Northrop Grumman, a whopping 22% increase in profits. Things are good for some. Unlikely to get better. Germany, Belgium, Romania, Italy, Poland, Norway, and Sweden have all pledged to increase defense spending since the Russian invasion. Profits are looking up, but people are dying. It's rarely mentioned in the Western press, but we should remind ourselves that Ukraine, before the start of the war, was already the poorest country in Europe, with a gross national income per capita of just $3,540. Imagine trying to live on that. And, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that everyone in Ukraine is doing bad. Some people are making good money there, but the general population is suffering like hell, and have been since before the war. Now I want to turn to Patrick Lancaster, an independent journalist who's been in Ukraine for the last 8 years, get a little background and get some answers, even though he wasn't talking to me. So Patrick, when this all started and Russia invaded Crimea, how did the people react there? What was it like?
It was kind of an interesting time because the Crimeans switched over without, any real wars. Absolutely no war down there. There was a few shots here and there with, some of the bases and things. But, for all intents and purposes, Crimea made a turnover without any real fighting. And people were free to leave if they wanted, to stay if they wanted. And all people who stayed were able to get Russian citizenship. And yes, the people were extremely happy.
Well, that's interesting to hear. It's not exactly the story we've been getting in the West. But now, what's going on in eastern Ukraine? You're in eastern Ukraine now. How do the people there feel about being separated from Ukraine and possibly being absorbed into Russia?
One thing, the locals that live here do not consider this part of eastern Ukraine anymore. Yeah, that's something that kind of went out the window after the referendum 8 years ago. Attacks are coming in every hour. The only thing that's being shown in the West is the result of Ukrainian or Russian attacks on Ukraine. But what the West isn't showing is every day here in Donetsk there is attacks from Ukraine-controlled territory, Ukraine attacking the civilian population here. In the last 12 days, there's been 19 civilians killed. It's not a huge amount like across the Ukraine right now, but in the last 12 days in the Donetsk People's Republic-controlled territory, there's been 19 civilians killed, and I believe 27 injured. And these are results of Ukrainian attacks on mostly civilian areas. Of course, the battle's been raging on the front line since this new development happened, and even before. A lot of the shells are hitting civilian areas, and I assume a lot are hitting military areas as well.
Thank you, Patrick. Appreciate your reporting. If you listen to this, I hope you will go to Patrick's YouTube channel and give him a like and subscribe, and if you're able to, support him. Of course, I wouldn't mind if you supported this channel, but he's doing much better work than I. Aloha, y'all.